Welcome back to Maggie's Cottage. If you've been watching some of our other videos, you'll remember that this is how the cottage looked when we first got it. We hope you've been enjoying some of our videos on the restoration of the cottage and our DIY projects, and please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support very much. Well, the cottage has come a long ways. If you've seen some of the other videos, you'll realize that from these pictures. In this video, we'd like to go a little more in depth on the restoration of the kitchen, which was in really bad shape. It's kind of been a work in progress. So we want to show you the latest updates and things that we've done to the kitchen. We'll start by showing you some pictures of how it looked when we got it. This is what it looked like. There wasn't much of anything in the kitchen, unfortunately. The ceilings were missing the plaster. All there was the lath on there. It did have the original wainscot still around the room, so that was super exciting. And it had some trim around the windows, which was beautiful still. I'm looking at it right now, and you're probably thinking, wow, this is really bad and crazy, but I wasn't. I was thinking this is going to be amazing, and I love it. And it had some great other details. It had this built-in cabinet still. You can see this is from the kitchen looking into the laundry room and the bathroom. It had the original door that leads out into the mudroom. I love these arches on this door. They're pretty amazing. Here's a little bit better picture of the cabinet. Isn't that cute? I was so happy that it was still there. Here's one of the windows, and you can see it has the trim around it, which was really beautiful trim. So a lot of work needed to be done. Here's looking out from the living room back into the kitchen, and you can see they had widened the door right there. Originally it had a little walk-through that had a transom window above it, but they had taken that out before we got the house. Better picture of the wainscot around the room. It was painted blue, which was pretty, but I'm going to change that up. So the first thing we needed to do was to get some sheetrock on the ceiling. So with some help from some friends and a handyman, they worked on getting the sheetrock on the ceiling, and then we needed to add some electrical to the middle of the room. And I had found this really cool light at Lowe's on clearance, and it has some stained glass globes that will go with it that will look beautiful in our old home. We got some new plumbing in the wall where we will put the sink and some cabinets, and the walls are coming along. Got them sheetrocked and mudded and ready to go. You can see it's looking much better. The ceiling looks really nice. So now it's time for some painting. So Brian's looking around at it thinking this is going to be a big job. So we decided that we would spray the room because we're going to do the ceiling and the walls the same color. So the first thing we needed to do was to spray a primer on. So sprayed a white primer on the ceiling, the walls, even the wainscot. And then it was time for our beautiful color that we picked out. The color that we used is called Cool Sky by Behr, and it went on beautiful. And these walls are amazing. They are so smooth, no texture whatsoever. Our handyman did a wonderful job smoothing them up. So then it was time to take on the wainscot. So I'm going to paint that a white, a nice creamy, soft white. I believe it's called Cotton by Behr also. And it was a lot of work. It's a lot of wainscot, but it is beautiful. Next part is the flooring. As you can see, part of the flooring is missing. But we determined that we're going to see what we could do to try to save the floors. It did have some old linoleum on first that we needed to scrape off, and so there was some residue left because of that. So then it came time for sanding, and boy did Brian sand a lot and vacuumed up a lot. It was a lot of work for sure. There were some burn marks and some other things, mismatched pieces also in the floor, but we did the best we could to sand it up. And there were still some dark spots on it, but we decided that we would go ahead and varnish it and see how it looked and see if we thought we might be able to save it. So here's a picture of it with just the varnish on, and it's beautiful. Look at that, those tones. But it was kind of in rough shape. So you can see there were burn marks. There must have been a fire. The stove was here at one time. There are some holes along the wall. It sat without a roof for a while. So we're gonna move on and see what we decide about the floor. So my next project was to work on this cabinet. I love this built-in cabinet that came with the house that was original and that was still there. So I painted it a creamy white, the same as that's on the wainscot, and then I wanted to add some paper to the back, so I just got some craft paper and used some spray adhesive, sprayed that and put it in the back. And then right away I put my dishes in it. Even though the kitchen wasn't finished, I wanted to see how it looked, and It looked amazing, and I am in love with this cabinet for sure. So we needed some cabinets, so we just decided to get some used cabinets from, I believe it was Habitat for Humanity, just to use temporarily until we got what we really wanted in the kitchen. So you can see here we're taking some and making a base out of some old cabinet for our kitchen sink, our farmhouse sink. So the farmhouse sink in the background there we got on Craigslist for $100. It's an IKEA farm sink, and someone didn't need it anymore, so we snatched it up, which was a great buy. So you can see that we built the base, or cut the base out of that cabinet so we could set the sink on, and it works really well. In fact, we still kept that base for now. So after trying to live with the floors for a little bit and getting slivers, and they just weren't going to work out even though we loved them, but they were in really rough shape, we decided it was time to cover them up with some Pergo. We didn't want to remove the original floors, so they're under this Pergo if we ever take it off. But we found this Pergo on clearance for $1.67 a square foot, and it's called Heritage Hickory, which was beautiful. It looks a lot like the original flooring, which was what I was trying to do, and it was great that it was on clearance. So it was a very inexpensive way to cover up the floors for at least now, unless we change our minds down the road. So Brian's had a lot of experience laying this Pergo floor, and we actually have a video that shows you how to do it. If you'd like to check that out, we'll share the link for that. And you can see it's pretty close to the color of the floor. So after we got the flooring in, it was time to put some more permanent cabinets in and to put a dishwasher in. So we decided to go with the Diamond Now cabinets from Lowe's that they had in stock. We actually ordered some also that were shipped to the house, some upper cabinets, which we don't have right now in this picture, but these are the lower cabinets. We also have a video that shows you how to install cabinets if you'd like to check that out as well. They're really quite easy. So these are shaker style, and we're going to add some cute little farmhouse handles to them also. They're really well made. So we moved a refrigerator from this other side of the room so we'd have more cabinets and counter space to this little corner by the stove, and I think it's going to work out good. We're going to get some new appliances, and later in the video we have some new ones. We'll show you those. But also I wanted you to look at this little countertop that we have next to the stove. We wanted to use some pieces of furniture in the kitchen so it looked more like a farmhouse kitchen that had come together over the years since it had been stripped from everything original. So the first piece we put in was this little island that we had gotten from Costco many years ago and had used in our other home, and I had painted it black. It has the little farmhouse handles, which are really great because we're going to get those also for the rest of the cabinets. And these are two other pieces that we got also to go in the kitchen. The one on the left is a real old farmhouse kitchen cabinet, and I love the little wood top. It's got tongue and groove oak on it, and it's just the cutest little cabinet. It even has a cutting board that comes out. And then the one on the right, back in the corner, is a cabinet that I got at Goodwill for $60. It didn't look like this. I painted it white and duck egg blue, and it's really cute. And so these are my extra storage pieces to make it look like a farmhouse kitchen that's come together over the years, and I really love them. They really make the kitchen look authentic, or more authentic, I feel like. So here's a picture, a better picture of the farmhouse sink. It really is a nice sink. And so the backsplash were some just tins that I found at Ross. They were green, and I painted them white and just attached them to the wall, and they work out really good. So we're going to go with some butcher block countertops on the newer cabinets that we put in. And so we went to Lowe's and checked out their butcher block, and we ended up getting our piece of butcher block there. We got the longest piece that they have, and you can see the price right here. It's $239 for that slab that we got. And then the supplies that I'm going to use to finish this off, I'm going to use some pre-stain on the wood after I sand it down a little bit, and then I'm going to stain it. I decided I wanted a dark finish, and I'm going to stain it a dark walnut. And we use this Minwax wood finish penetrating stain, which I use a lot for projects, and I really like it. And then we will need to seal it with polyurethane. We have another video that goes into detail on how to prepare your butcher block countertop, so check that out as well. So Brian needed to use the chop saw and the table saw to cut the piece of butcher block. He needed to have a piece for each side of the farmhouse sink. So after he cut it, I sanded it and got it nice and smooth and ready to begin. And I started with the pre-stain, then used the stain, sanding in between, and check out that video because I go into more detail and tell you how to do that. And then it was time for the polyurethane. I put several coats on because I want it to hold up really well, and it has held up really well so far. So got that ready, and Brian got that installed, and then it was time to figure out a backsplash behind the butcher block countertop. So we picked up some wainscot at Lowe's. It's similar to what's on the walls, but it's thinner pieces, so we got that painted and cut to size, and then Brian stapled that into the wall above the butcher block. And I really love it, and I love the way it looks with the original wainscot you can see on the left there, the wider wainscot on the wall, and then we've got this for the counter above the countertops, and added some trim, some little details to that. Just looks really nice. Here's another little piece I added to the kitchen. It's just a little corner cabinet that I keep my spices in. It's so cute, and I love the little details on it. And just add some more character to the kitchen. And then on the wall across from the sink, we also added a little cupboard that was actually probably the top of a hutch, and just painted that up and put it up on the wall and added a little bit of decor, and it looks really cute. So here's a picture of the countertops done, and you'll see that we have the upper cabinets too. They arrived and we were able to install those, and I love the color of these dark walnut butcher block countertops in the kitchen. And then we got our new appliances, a new fridge and a new double oven, which I'm so excited about using with our big family. When everyone comes, that is really a blessing to have that big double oven. And I wanted to show you some of the other details that just add some character. We added a bench with some pillows and this tin awning that I found at an antique store, and we made a little window box to go underneath it out of an old window and some wood we found in the shed, and I can decorate it for the different seasons, and it just adds a lot of character to the kitchen. Here's the original cabinet. We put this really cute shelf up on the wall that we found this wood in the barn, and added some little metal brackets underneath it. It's a really cute place to decorate. And then here is my screen barn door, which I love. We have this old screen, and I wanted something to separate the kitchen from the laundry room. And luckily this was the perfect size for that opening. So we ordered some hardware on Amazon, and Brian built this for me to go in the kitchen, and I love it. It looks so cute, and it's fun to put different wreaths on it for different seasons. The last thing we added was our old store countertop from Joplin, Missouri. I love this countertop. We'd had it in our other home for a while. We brought it to the cottage to use for an island in the kitchen. It has a lot of nice storage, and it matches so good with our butcher block countertop. It's fun to decorate. I painted some stools up to go with it. It'll look so cute in the kitchen. And I'm loving how our kitchen is. Here's a reminder of what we started with. I think it's come a long ways, and of course it's going to probably evolve more over the years, which is fine, and I'll share more videos and things on when we do different things in the kitchen, but we are loving the way it is. We're preparing the cottage so that we can retire to it, and we're so excited for that, and it feels so warm and cozy now. So this just shows you that you can start with nothing and end up with a beautiful kitchen for not a lot of money, and just do a lot of work by yourself, and it really turns out well. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it gave you some ideas for things that you can do to your kitchen. And please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate your support. Thank you.